what's up, guys? Adam and Ty Morp here. Hope you all having a really good Memorial Day weekend. Most of you know I did a review, a first look review at the Trigger Style Harbor Freight Black Widow airbrush that we have here. This is a different one because, as you know, I had some problems with the fan tip on this. I cleaned everything out. I looked at the comments. I seen some people saying, "Hey, Adam, you had your paint too thin. That's why it's doing that." Well, that doesn't make any sense to me. Like, on a regular paint gun, if you have thinner paint, it doesn't really affect the pattern. I mean, yeah, the pattern may be bigger or maybe smaller, but it's not going to inside heavy or this barbell effect that we had on that last video. So you can go ahead and check that. I'll have it linked up here, the other video, because I did go over all of the functions of the airbrush. We did hit a little bit on the Black Widow compressor here, but I'm gonna go ahead and open this thing up because this thing's brand new. I haven't even touched it yet. But what we're gonna go ahead and try to do in this video to see if it will do it is we do have this LimeLine LimeLine panel here that's all airbrushed up, and this is just base coat colors. So I've had a lot of people in the comments wonder, would the Trigger Style airbrush work for spraying 2K Clearcoat? Well, that's a good question. At first glance, I would say probably not. But after using it last week, if this would correct the fan pattern, I think it actually might do it. So we're going to go ahead and give it a shot. I don't know if it's going to work, but we'll see, and we'll know by the end of this video. So let's check this out. All right, so we have the base of the gun here. It's already loaded up with the 0.5 tip and the 0.5 needle, and it looks like it already has the air cap on there as well. I'll double check all that. Just pull this out of here. And then we have two different sizes of the paint tanks. We'll go ahead and go with the big one since we might be spraying clear with this. Well, we will be spraying clear with this. Screw that bad boy on there. Let's check. The other thing I had a slight bit of a problem with was the way the cap fit the last one. If you watched the last video, I actually had to use a flathead screwdriver in order to pry this off. So let's see how this works. Nope, still a little tight. Ugh. I didn't even put it on there. Oh, there we go. Okay, well, I mean, that might loosen up in there. I mean, it's better than being too loose. But yeah, actually, that's not too bad. I think the trick is maybe to make sure that we press it down straight, because maybe if we have it a little bit of an angle. Okay, that's not too bad. At least it's tight. And it does come with a quick connect. So and that's going to be located right here. Okay, let's double check to make sure we have the 0.5, which it does. It says right there. You see right there, it says 0.5. You want to be really careful with that needle to make sure you don't bend it. You won't be able to see it on the camera, but you can see right here it's stamped. Or you can't see it's actually stamped, but it is stamped. So it is stamped 0.5. Is that what that says? Let me look up. Yeah, it's really hard to see with my eyes, but that's what it says, I think. This little retainer ring that screws right over that. Now, you do want to make sure that your fan pattern tip is oriented in the horizontal position. That way it gives us a vertical spray. Let's plug this thing in. So once again, this is just a quick connect. You just push this right on there. Okay, it looks like it's not allowing me to pull the trigger all the way back, but there is an adjustment right here. So we'll go ahead and loosen that, and that should allow us to bring that trigger back. If you didn't want to spray full volume, you would just adjust that knob right there. You know, by pushing that in, it's not going to allow you to pull back as far. So let's make sure we have this fully open. Okay, fully open, and then hold it down, and then you want to screw it back so it's tight up against there. You could get some back pressure if that's not completely tight. I'm not really sure. Let's turn this compressor on. I'm gonna go ahead and run some lacquer thinner through this since it's brand new. A lot of times these are packed with some like oil and grease and stuff like that. So I wanna make sure I at least run something through this besides just throwing the paint straight into there. A little bit of lacquer thinner. We'll just go ahead and run that all the way through. Okay. First, let's go ahead and check the pattern with some black paint. I'll go ahead and throw some black base coat in there. And we can see how well this pattern actually sprays. Once again, make sure that cap goes on there straight. That may have been my problem last time. It could have been my fault on that. Okay, this paint is pretty thick. I wanted to start a little bit on the thicker side. I had a lot of comments on the last video about, you know, your paint was too thin. Your nozzle was the wrong way. I heard a lot of different things, and maybe it was my problem, but I don't know. We'll find out because I did replace this, and we'll see how this sprays compared to the last one. Okay, I feel like that might be a little bit too thick of a paint, but let's go ahead and spray it down and see where we're at. Okay, as you can see, yes, it is too thick, but you can see the droplet size here is much bigger than what we want. Also, a little thing that worries me is still, once again, there's a little bit of light spot right in the center, the barbell effect. That's what we had the problem with on the last one. Let's go ahead and thin this out a little bit, and we'll see what kind of difference it makes. Okay, got that a little bit thinner. Oh, okay. Not bad. Okay, much better. So just from that right there, I can already tell you that the other airbrush I had was defective. I don't know if it was the cap. I don't know if it was the nozzle, the needle, or the base. There could have been just some kind of an issue with it. So once you get these, try them out. Make sure they're spraying good. Keep your receipt. And if there's a problem, you know, it's Harbor Freight. Take that shit back, you know. This thing was 70 bucks. Not too bad. It's actually it's Memorial Day weekend, so 20% off on these. This one was just an exchange, so basically I just exchanged it for a new one. It was the last one they had down at the Ogden store. Okay, let me get this cleaned out. We're gonna grab our panel, go down into the booth, and we're gonna see if this airbrush and this compressor will spray 2K Clearcoat. All right, we're all set up in the booth here. We have our panel that's all base coated with the graphics. We have our mixing cup here, and then we do have some LiME 2K Clearcoat. So this particular Clearcoat is mixed 2-to-1, so we'll go ahead and do that now. We don't need much. Oh. We'll go ahead and give this a mix. All right, let's grab our airbrush. Make sure our compressor's on. Yep, we're all on there. All right, let's see how this sprays. Got our second coat on there. Keep in mind that this is going on a little bit lighter, so the dry times are going to be a little bit different. So I'm going to wait just a few minutes to be able to put on the third coat. I might go ahead and put on a fourth coat as well, because once again, these are lighter coats than what a paint gun would be putting on. So I think 4 coats would probably get us there. Turned out really good. I'm actually really surprised on how nice that actually ended up spraying out. So there's a little bit of orange peel and some dirt nibs there, and this can obviously has a lot of thick lines, so it could use to be scuffed down and then one more round of clear coat, because once again, this is sprayed right on top of base coat graphics that has some edges and stuff like that. So let's give it the real test. I have this panel right here that has some texture, and it looks, it has a lot of orange peel from this webbing effect that I put on. But let's see how it does on that. right, that actually did a fairly decent job. A couple of nibs here and there. All right, now that it's somewhat dry, we'll go ahead and take a look at it. It actually turned out really good. I'm really surprised on how well that really works. Now, I had to end up doing about 5 to 6 coats to feel like I got up to the thickness where I needed to be. But overall, I'm pretty impressed. This does spray 2K clear coat. Let's check out the other hood that I painted. All right, like I said, this has a webbing additive that was added to the paint. That'll be available through LiME coming up here in the next couple of weeks. But as you can see, with all of the texture of the webbing, that airbrush was still able to get that to smooth out pretty good. As you can see, there's still a bit of orange peel, which would be expected of a panel that just has base coat and webbing, because like I said, there's quite a bit of texture to start with. But it did a really good job. Now remember, with the LiME clear coat, you're able to reduce that up to 10%. So that definitely helps to flow this out a little more than just spraying it straight out of the bottle. But all right, guys. Hey, I appreciate you being here. It worked out. I'll be using this airbrush some more. Hit that like and subscribe button, and check out all my other videos about custom paint. Thanks for being here.